And now it's time for a brief moment in hockey history with old-time hockey. The Kenora Thistles. Officially called the Thistles Hockey Club, they were a Canadian ice hockey team based in Kenora, Ontario, founded in 1894. Originally known as the Rat Portage Thistles, the team was primarily composed of gold miners, lumbermen, and people who worked in the gold mining business. Around the same time, an amateur version of the Thistles were formed by children, and they would begin to play and ultimately defeat the senior version of the team. Over the next few years, the junior version of the Thistles team members found their way onto the senior team and eventually took it over. And they would slowly turn it into one of the greatest teams in Canada at the time. In 1903, the Kenora Thistles would challenge the Ottawa Senators for the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, they would lose the challenge at the time. In 1905, they would challenge Ottawa once again and come up short. The team would challenge for the cup again in 1907, this time against the Montreal Wanderers. Taking advantage of the new professionalism in the Manitoba Hockey Association, the Kenora Thistles hired Art Ross and Joe Hall to play for their team. The Thistles would go on to outscore Montreal 12-8 over 2 games and win the Stanley Cup, becoming the smallest town to ever win the Stanley Cup in history, with at the time of a population of 4,000 people. The Wanderers would challenge for the cup again in March of the same year, just 2 months after the Thistles had won it. And with the Wanderers' new signee of Art Ross, straight from the Thistles' own team, Kenora did not stand a chance. It wasn't soon after that the Kenora team slowly ran out of money. And with new professionalism in hockey, meaning higher player salaries, free agency, and larger teams with deeper pockets, the Kenora Thistles ceased play at the end of 1907. But the Thistles cemented their legacy in hockey history nonetheless. Out of the 12 players who would play for the 1907 Stanley Cup winning team, 9 are now in the Hockey Hall of Fame, including Art Ross and Joe Hall. Art Ross would go on to have a stellar career as a player and a coach in the NHL, and eventually have the NHL's scoring title named after him. And this has been a brief moment of hockey history.